lonely feeling. It's a lonely feeling, particularly people that you're doing it for. Most people take their greatness, take their ideas to the graveyard with them.
Oh.
Listen to me. If it was easy, everybody would do it. There are people right now who are working who don't want to work. There are people who hate their job. They keep getting up to do it.
The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, we will find inventions that we never, ever were exposed to. Ideas, dreams that never became reality. Hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon.
Question is, what are you going to do with your time? What drives you? And greatness is a lot of small things done well. Day after day, workout after workout, obedience after obedience, day after day.
When things don't work out for you, when things happen that you could not anticipate, what are the reasons that you can think of that can keep you strong?
You will never, ever be successful until you turn your pain into greatness, until you allow your pain to push you from where you are to push you to where you need to be. Stop running from your pain and embrace your pain. Your pain is going to be a part of your prize, a part of your product. I challenge you to push yourself.
See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there at a low level. But it calls on everything in you. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself.
I mean, that's what you did last week over now. Today is the only important day. There are 86,400 seconds in a day, and how you use those are critical. You got 86,400 today, and what you do today is going to see who you are. Nobody's going to talk about what you did last week.
That the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
You have this opportunity of a lifetime. It means absolutely nothing if you don't take advantage of it in the lifetime of this opportunity.
I got a saying that when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. See, it's time now. If you want to make this your decade, you've got to start saying yes to your life. You've got to start saying yes to your dreams, yes to your unfolding future, yes to your potential, as opposed to saying no.
When you die on evil. Leave no dream left behind, God. Leave no opportunity left behind. When you leave this earth, accomplish every single thing you can accomplish. Listen to me, you're going to be here one day, but you'll never get here if you give up, if you give in, if you quit. And finally, guys, you got to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
Thanks, Patty.
That's also a good one. So why don't we follow?
Yeah, we're not gonna watch right now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
We can tomorrow. Yeah, I love watching. I love watching these videos. They put me up. All right, I want to dive in. So we've got some learning today. So you want pen and paper, and if you have your training manual, I would take your training manual out. So yesterday, I actually still haven't gotten reports because I was at the SLDM and I never got reports. Austin, can you give me the final number? Can we get the final number of sales yesterday, please, for our week? So we can post that up. But I know yesterday we had a pretty average Tuesday. We had some great sales happen, just not as many, meaning we didn't have as many demos, but we had a really solid day for the demos that we did have. Really excited to crush it today. I know we had some grand orders yesterday, so great job. This is John. Can you scooch over a little bit? Thanks. All right. So yesterday or today, I was talking to actually Barbara yesterday, and then I was talking to somebody else. from one of our other offices, and Mary Lou and I were chatting last night, and we have some great teaching that's going to happen over the next couple of days. Today I'm going to go through dropping down and then going back up. Tomorrow we're going to go through cookware and just answering questions to make sure you guys are feeling really comfortable and confident with that. On Friday, really showing how to like build up. We have like a killer like flatware approach with accessorizing. And Saturday, just going to show you guys how to really wish list and start making those lists for the last minute orders on those last days. And then we've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the conference on Wednesday. We've got an absolutely phenomenal lineup. I'm so excited. I was working till late last night. Got that out to the division, confirmed all of our speakers. We've got just all absolutely high caliber speakers at this event, Hall of Fame members, scholarship winners that are ready to deliver. I'm super stoked to bring some great stuff to the table. So I want to walk you guys through my drop down that I was taught. One of the things that I remember being newer, and I felt kind of awkward when I would drop down and my customer would be like, oh, I just want, pieces. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But hey, let me show you the set, and they're like, yeah, but you guys want to get pieces. And I'm like, yeah, but let me show you this other set, and I almost felt like they were kind of like, are you not listening to me? Because they were like, oh, I just want pieces or whatever. And so I learned to drop down and then drop back up. And this is a talk that I gave a lot of times when I was a newer rep. I got really good at this, where I drop down. And why do we need to drop down? Dropping down is finding your customer's comfort zone. And then I would drop back up to show them their best value. And I usually sold a starter set, even when I went all the way down to pieces. But there was a process to this, So step one, all right, and the drop, first is obviously close, on the family sets. So whether you're closing on all three at the same time, you're closing in the complete set and going to the homemaker, but just showing the family sets. And for me, that was more of like a bundle package, unless someone was like totally into the complete set. I was just like, hey, here's our small, medium, large, type of thing. Which one's best for you? So some of you guys have like my triple close or whatever, if the person was like totally into the complete, I'm closing on the complete set, whatever it was. But I'd show them the large, and if they were just like, didn't want one of the family sets and like, no, just want to get some pieces or do something smaller, be like, hey, there's actually a set that's super popular. It's our singles set, and it's actually right under the galley. I don't know if you know where, like all the way to the left, kind of in the middle, Patty, against the wall, there's the deposits. It has all the sets, and it has 2K, 3K, 5K. See if you see that all against the wall. I don't know if you can. So when you guys do this, so you have your book, right? You closed on the sets, and then if they didn't do that, I said, okay, well, hey, and I just did it right here. Okay, so I talked about the galley right here. And I said, well, Miss Jones, just so you know, there's a set right under this, under the family sets, and it's our single set. Super popular. It's our most purchased single set. Our most purchased family set, and it has your prep tools. All right, it has the air knife, it has the small utility, it has the sandwich maker. Thank you. You can get that to everybody. Adrian, don't worry about that right now. We can do that after. Can you guys scooch in or fill in seats for me? I don't like, if you don't know this about me yet, I don't like empty seats. So move on up, upgrade yourself. All right, cool. It's like a thing. I just hate it. I hate teaching to an empty chair. Matt, that chair wants you. I can feel it. All right. So I said, hey, by the way, Miss Jones, there's a set right under here. So it has the air knife. It has your small utility for your tomatoes. It has your sandwich maker. It has the everyday carving and prep. It has your turning fork. It doesn't have your butcher. Cool. It doesn't have the heavy duty. It does have the chopper. It does have the bread. It doesn't have the master carving set. So no butcher, no master carving set. And that's just because a lot of times, someone single go to someone else's house for carving occasions. They might not buy as much food. And if you're someone single who cooks a lot, well, then you probably still want to buy, later upgrade to one of these. But it's a really nice way to start off. And it's a few less knives for a lot less money. It actually drops the price for you, Miss Jones, to $874. Okay, would be with the 6 table knives. And again, you don't have to pay for this all at one time. If you wanted to try this, that comes out to. So basically, you would have to put aside, and you guys can put these, I like to have the weekly, and Austin, if we can put a paper together that has the weekly on it as well, so you guys don't have to worry about it. It's $47 per week. All right, that means basically you'd put aside $23 each. Cool. The basic galley, if you did it without the table knives and just got the preparation tools, Miss Jones, this would come out to $676, or that's priced at $676. Your deposit to try it out and see how you like it is $148. So this right here would be basically $37 a week that you would put aside, which is $18 each. Cool. So it's a lot easier on the budget, and again, it's a few lots nice for a lot less money. With this was actually rated Best Buys by Consumer Digest. This has won tons of awards. Dr. Phil actually gave this set away to everybody in his audience. I don't know if have I showed you guys that?
No.
This is cool. So they were talking about eating healthy and just how, obviously prepping your own food is a lot healthier, right? And as the whatever gift, I guess, for the audience, they actually gave a galley set, a basic galley set to everybody. Yeah.
You can eat a wide variety of foods, and you really want to eat a lot of vegetables. And so something I think every cook needs in the kitchen is a sharp set of knives to help chop up all those healthy foods. So Cutco knives are the top of the line knives that come with a cutting board and a lifetime guarantee. They retail for over $600. So everybody in the audience is
All right. So yeah, so I let customers know that. So I'm like, so this was actually our rated Best Buys by Consumer Digest.
You have to use them. Okay? For those of you.
Cool. But yeah, so they've won Best Buy certificates from Consumer. Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, I
Watch
kind of
it.
see it.
I know. It is a scam.
Right. Now,
You guys can watch it later.
to you.
All right.
Aw.
We can watch them after.
Okay, cool,
So,
cool.
all right. So 676. All right. So you guys go through here, and I'm like, all right. So Ms. Jones, again, building up. So it's a few less nice for a lot less money. It's won a bunch of Best Buy certificates. It was actually Dr. Phil gave the basic set to everybody in his audience, and they're doing a cooking healthy episode just because when you have good knives, it's so much easier to cook. I'm like, so that's what it would be, and that's what you break it down. Like, is that something you guys feel you could squeeze into the budget, or is that something that feels more comfortable? And that's how I asked, by the way. Like when I dropped down, I'm like, hey, does that work better for you? Or hey, does that feel more comfortable? Or is that something that you guys feel you could squeeze into the budget, depending on what they said, initially. All right. So again, clothes on family sets. It's like, oh no, honey, I can't do all that right now. And by the way, they might say, oh, I can't do all that right now, or we just can't. Or you might have someone for you guys that says, oh, I don't need all that. And once in a while, I had that person. But you learn that the demo is preventative maintenance. If you're seeing me at customers, you shouldn't hear I can't afford it. If you hear I can't afford it, they just didn't want that set or they're not comfortable. That's what that means, by the way. We were talking about this yesterday. I can't afford it is not a real excuse. If someone works full time, can they afford this? Of course they can, all right? It's not whether they can afford it or not. It's do they feel it's worth it? Are they excited about it, okay? Now, sometimes they might have the roof caved in and the pipes broke and a bunch of unexpected things, right? And so not forgetting that, people have a monthly budget. I'm sorry, we're going to see this again. But you have a budget. What's in the budget? Talk to me. What's in the budget?
Bills.
All right. Give me specifics. So we've got food, we got car, we've got what?
Gas.
Insurance.
Movies.
All right.
Mortgage.
Gas, mortgage. All right, whatever. We can keep going, but these are all planned expenses, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wake up. All right, planned expenses. Then there's the extra money. And the extra money is called disposable income or expendable income, or I like to call it fun money. Because what do you normally spend it on? Whatever you're excited about, all right? Movies. Oh, there's a shirt on sale. Oh, there's this. Oh, let's go to happy hour. Whatever excites you, all right? That extra money. And some people, I want to buy a ring, which I totally bought the wrong size. And I'm so sad. But I'm like, ooh, I want to buy this, all right? Some people have a little bit of money. Some people have a lot of extra money, all right? But anyway, so you do things that are fun with this, all right, whatever that is to you. And so they've got to be excited about it. And so sometimes they might tell you, oh, no, we can't, because they just weren't excited about it. When someone says to you, Cutco's not in the budget, it's in nobody's budget. Who the hell said, hey, honey, let's put aside knives for that random kid who's going to call us next month, all right? Nobody has it in the budget. Cutco taps into this money, okay? So it's tapping into their nail money, which I need to go do that. It's tapping into their, and actually I have budgeted like beauty stuff each month. Like I know that I spend a certain amount each month. That's in my planned expenses. Now, if I want to get like a facial or go beyond, but like I have budgeted $200 a month minimum to make sure my nails and feet, I don't look like a crazy person, and my eyebrows, and then beyond that is not. It's like when I hit a goal, I'm like, all right, spotty, and I like add stuff, and that would come from here, all right? Now, there's other things that are real reasons. When someone says, Anthony, I can't afford to get Cutco because I'm going on vacation, that's bullshit, excuse my language. Like, that's planned. You plan ahead for that. You want to buy, oh, we can't because we just bought a new car. Like, car, vacation, all those things are planned. All right, you're gonna be like, oh, well, my buddy's parents, they woke up on Friday and they're like, let's just buy a new car. Well, then money's not an issue. If someone yes, some people can wake up and just buy a car. Some people can wake up and just say, you know what, let's go on vacation to Bimini. They can do that. Well, money's not an issue. Got it? So for someone who's tighter on the budget, who's middle class, like they have those things planned ahead. They save up for those things. All right. So what are real things? The freaking flooding. All right. I don't think anyone planned for like houses to go underwater. And taxes, and so just different things like legal, speeding ticket, car accident, medical, just like random stuff, legal, medical that come up unexpectedly. All right, and I'm not talking about medical bills you're paying. I'm talking about I went to Israel. I don't know what the hell I got on the way back, drank the water, and I was in the hospital for 2 days, had a spinal tap, all this crap, $10,000 in hospital bills. I budgeted $5,000 for Israel. I did not budget an extra 10 grand for hospital, which I had to pay $2,800 out of pocket in insurance paid for us. That was not in the budget. So that tapped into here, and I was like, dang it. So I had to cut back on other fun spending because I had to take care of that. All right, look how pretty those pancakes look. All right, so anyway, so we've got your extra. So everyone understand Cutco taps into here. So if they're like, oh honey, the roof caved in, the pipes broke, Johnny got into a car accident, those are real things, okay? So in that case, we're gonna drop down and find whatever's best for them. Because by the way, they can all still get a starter set or a galley, whatever they're comfortable with. Because if the car accident or the legal or whatever it was costs an extra $30 or $50 or $80 to fix, well, they're gonna be like, no, I can't do it. No, you just pay whatever the hell they tell you it is, all right? So just so you guys know. So for a MAT customer working full-time, now someone living paycheck to paycheck, that's different, all right? Now, so step one is I close on the family side. Step two, sorry, I didn't write step two, is galley, right? So galley on homemaker page. What does that mean? All right.
You introduced the galley on the homemaker page.
Thank you. All right. So show the galley on the homemaker. So just like I showed you. So you close on your larger sets. You guys know whatever set you close on, however you normally do. And if they're like, no, I just don't need all that. They might say, oh, can I get individual pieces? Or they say, oh, we just can't afford anything. By the way, even the person who goes, I can't afford anything right now, honey, because da 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 da, and they give you the whole sob story. Okay. That means nothing. I'm just letting you know. I've done this for a long time. It means nothing. And I remember Cal Pichetto, one of my guys, he called me. He's one of my big fast starters somewhere up in there. But I remember Kyle calling me, and he was like, hey, Kat, I'm with a customer. They definitely want the all-knife set, and I wanted to see if we could do a barbecue set. I said, hey, dude, I can't do a barbecue set with that. It's more points than you can. I said, is there anything else they possibly liked to see what we can play with, or we could do some of the tools of it? And he's like, well, they like the fishing knife too. I go, if they add the fishing knife, the barbecue set will go through. I go, that's fine. And he was like, all right, cool. So I said, by the way, do they cook? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, do me a favor, write this down just to show them a deal on the homemaker that we have going on. He's like, oh no, they can't do the homemaker because they have thunder. I go, dude, I don't need the story. All right, I learned, and I used to listen to the story when I was new, and that's something that my friend told me. He goes, the story doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, if they're excited about it and they see it's a good deal, they'll get it. Like whenever you find their comfort zone. Everyone's comfort zone is different. So I go, dude, I don't need the story. I go, just write this down. Just show. I go, Show them the deal that I gave you, right? Add the fishing knife. It's an extra $20 to the payment. Barbecue set free. Cool. No work. No problem. Great job. But I want you to go, hey, Miss Smith, just so you know, my manager just told me there's a deal on the homemaker set. And just write this down. Cool. And I gave it to him and I said, hey, you could do $175 off, or you can do $325 of free stuff. She trades in some of her stuff. He's like, wait, what? He goes, so if she trades in like any knives, I'm like, dude, any knives. She's like, how many? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's all to charity or they're going to recycle it. I go, if they trade in any knives, they trade in more, they don't get more of a discount. It's a set discount. They trade in anything, you can do any. So he goes, okay, so they trade in, they do $175 off, nothing free, right? I'm like, nothing free. Or they get $325 of free stuff. I'm like, yes. I was like, do you just say it one more time? No, I got it. I just want to make sure. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, just make sure you say, hey, just so you know, my manager told me there's a deal happening with this. Is that something that you'd be excited about? Or you want to just go with the all-knife set? Just show it to them. I don't hear from him for 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I got a call. What the beep, beep, beep? Like cussing on the phone. I'm like, yo, what's the deal? I'm like, why are you so pissed off? You lost a sale? And he goes, no, they bought a homemaker. I'm like, then why are you upset right now? And he's like, Kat, you don't understand. When I was closing, like, I felt so bad because this lady for like 20 minutes was like, oh my God, I wish I could get it, but I can't because my daughter's going to college and we had to pay this and we had to do that. And they give you the whole sob story. Who's got a sob story on a demo? All right. Oh my God. And they're like, that means nothing, by the way. Just, okay. Oh no, I totally understand. I'm like, so it doesn't seem like that's something you'd be really comfortable with right now. I'm like, hey, is it cool if I just show you some of our smaller things? I go, whether for now or for later, we have some really nice sets that it's like literally $80, $100, like 20, $30 put aside and you can start your collection. And whenever you're ready, we can upgrade you later. Is it cool if I just show you some of the smaller stuff? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. All right. By the way, the lady bought a homemaker with $300 of free stuff. She paid the regular price. All right. Because then he told me, yeah. So she was telling me the whole sob story. And I literally, remember how I read it back to you? I said, yeah. He goes, I hung up and the lady goes, did your manager say if we trade in our old knives, we could get a discount or get $300 free? And he's like, yeah. She's like, okay, let's do that. I want the barbecue set, the scissors, the fishing. And he was like, what the? All right. And the fact is that they were really excited about it. And there's sometimes where I'm like, no, I can't spend. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good deal. I have to get it. And that's where like when you get there that they're like, oh, sale has to be made. All right. So you show the family sets. If they don't want to do one of the families, like, no, that's more than that. And by the way, I taught this to Donnie. Remember Donnie Taylor? I was doing this exact workshop like 5 years ago. And Donnie goes, he's the one that did the recommendation, who do you know sheet. He used to average like over 30 recommendations per appointment. And he heard me teaching and he walked by and he goes, hey, come here. And he had sold like 50 grand of Cutco. And I was just like, yo, what's up? And he said, so you know how you were saying when people are like, I can't afford anything right now. And they give you that whole sob story. He's like, I never sell to those people. I'm like, excuse me, what? He goes, I never sell to those people. I feel so bad. And I'm like, oh, no worries. And I just like asked him for recommendations. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I go, that's a normal thing for people to say. Like, it's normal to always say that at first. For some people, they're not excited. For some people, we just haven't found their comfort zone. For some people, they're honestly just trying to wheel and deal. Because when you go to a car dealership, do you take first price on the car? First price on the house? These are homeowners. They bought 1, 2, or 3 cars, maybe a second home, maybe a boat. You don't go to buy something and they say, here's the price. And you're like, okay, you want to see how low they can go. So you've got the wheel and dealers too. All right. So there's different reasons why people say that at first, but naturally people say no before yes. So know that. All right. But for whatever reason, I was just like, hey, it doesn't sound like something you're told. And so I taught Diamond to say when they're like, I can't afford anything right now. I'm like, hey, that doesn't sound like it's something that's comfortable for you. Did you like Cutco? So write this down. So whatever they say, this was a phrase that I would say to them. I'm like, so doesn't sound, something to the effect of doesn't sound like that works best today, or doesn't sound like that's really comfortable right now, or doesn't sound, like just what are we doing? Seeing where they're coming from, right? Remember 4 parts to ejection cycle. Agree, see where they're coming from, but however, talk logically and ask again. So I'm like, hey, that doesn't seem like it's something that's super comfortable for you right now. Or, hey, that doesn't seem like it's something that would work best today. Did you like Cutco? And again, something to the tune of, is it something you'd want to get in the future? All right. So I always said to them like, oh, Miss Jones, totally, hey, that doesn't sound like it's something that's totally comfortable right now. Or hey, that doesn't seem like that would work best for you right now. Did you like Cutco though? And they're like, oh my gosh, it's just great. I love it. And I'm like, would you want some in the future or would you want to get? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, hey, is it cool with you? I show you some of our smaller stuff. I'm like, we've got some amazing sets. I'm like, whether it's an hour later that you're literally putting like $80 or $100. I'm like, you're putting aside like $20, $30. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, is it cool if I just show this to you real quick? And then drop. And by the way, I walked through with Donnie. Do you like Cutco? Would you want it later? And then it was just like, hey, is it cool, if I just show you some smaller options, and I just basically said that would either work now or later. I'm like, just so you at least know, I'm like, we have some awesome deals. It's like $80 or $100 to start your collection. And when you're ready, then you can upgrade it in the future. Cool. And they're like, all right, yeah. So he dropped, and so we practiced this. And then his next demo, he texted me. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I feel like an idiot. He's like, I can't imagine how many sales I've lost. Like literally next demo, I just can't afford anything right now. And he's like, I sold a galley. And I said, yeah, the lady saw this and she goes, oh, I can do that. Yeah, let's do that. And he goes, okay, cool. When you're ready, we'll upgrade you later. All right. So I can't afford anything right now is not a real thing. All right. Unless they lost their job and they're living under a bridge. They cannot afford anything right now. Okay. No, if they lost their job, period, they shouldn't be spending money. But if they work full time, they can. So that's something that I used to always, and it's about making them comfortable in the process, So again, close on the starter set, step 1. Step 2, hey, Miss Jones, there's a set right under this. It's called our galley set. And this right here, it's a fantastic set. It's a few less nice. It doesn't have the butcher. It doesn't have the master carving set. It does have your air knife, your sliced tomatoes, your sandwich knife, your everyday carving and prep, turning fork, your chopper, and your bread. Cool. Comes with 6 table knives instead of 8. This actually comes out to blank, and then you break it down on the paper. And I'm like, so with that, you can still do. I'm like, is that a set that would feel more comfortable, or is that something you guys feel you could squeeze in right now? Is that something that you'd be excited about? However you want to ask, depending on the flow of it. And they're like, yeah, you know what, that works great. Or they'll be like, oh, we just can't. Or at this point, usually, they said this like with the family sets, sometimes they say it here. But whenever they say it, I'm like, hey, is it cool if I show you some smaller stuff? But here's what I noticed in selling Cutco is that if I always show the family sets, I always show the galley, okay? If they didn't get one of those, by now, I typically heard, like, can I buy individual pieces? Sometimes they ask on the homemaker, but most of my customers I found asked around the galley set, but sometimes they ask on the homemaker. And whenever they ask, can I buy pieces? You don't want to be like, no, because that's lying. You don't want to be like, yeah, because you're ruining your set sale. But it's like you guys have in your manual where you're like, hey, Ms. Jones, some people like to pick out their favorite pieces and customize their own set, and I let them know, I'm like, we have some pre-made sets that are a way better deal. I'm like, they're discounted, you got free stuff, you have the right tool for the right job. I'm like, hey, is that cool if I show you those real quick? You might see something you like. All right. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. But before I do that, so here's an extra bonus tip. So they don't do the galley. All right. So step 2, you show the galley. If they don't if they don't do the galley, then step 3, and by the way, I want to make sure you write this when you're coaching other people, you need to teach this to them. All right. So step 3 is I ask them if you had to make your favorite or your perfect set. All right. Is actually what I say. I'm like, if you had to make your perfect set, what are your 4 to 5 favorites? All right. So Ms. Jones, if you had to make your perfect set, what are your 4 to 5 favorites? So this is something that I ask them and they're like, okay, well, I like all right. So let's do this. So Miss Barbara, so if she's like, so no, I don't need all that. Or, and by the way, I haven't even showed the starter set booklet. I haven't showed any of that. I just showed the galley right here, right? And if they're like, I don't know, can I buy individual? I don't know if I want to do that. And I said, Ms. Jones, I'm like, definitely. I'm like, we have some pre-made sets. I'm like, they're super affordable, like $80, $100 is what the deposit would be. I'm like, you can customize and customize your own deal, but the pre-made sets are a way better deal. I'm like, just so I know though, if you were going to make your perfect set, and I'll write it on a paper, and I'll say, Miss Barbara's, set, what are the 4 or 5 favorites that you like the most, Miss Barbara?
The petite carver.
Okay.
The butcher.
Like the one for chopping veggies or just like whacking stuff?
Chopping veggies.
Chopping veggies. All right. So the chef, they never know the freaking names of them. So I always ask that, by the way. So
The paring knife.
the air knife. Okay. Uh-huh.
the trimmer,
Uh-huh.
and the fork, the first one.
The turning fork?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. And I've had people pick an exact set before. She's off, you know, from one of the sets. And you guys will learn your sets because I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, hey, Miss Barbara, you can definitely pick out, like, we can customize something and make your perfect set with these tools. We do have some pre-made ones, though, that are way better deal. They actually are discounted. They come with a storage option, and they come with free stuff. Is it cool if I show you those real quick? If not, we'll customize this. Cool. And I want to keep their eyes and ears open because, again, if they're like, I just want pieces, and I'm like, oh, but let me show you a set,
Their
then
mind's gonna be focused on it.
yep, they shut off. Like they're just waiting for you to get to pieces. Versus I say, hey, what are your favorite pieces? And I write them down so I'm attentive to them. And now I go, all right, Miss Jones, or Miss Barbara, here we go. So this is the galley I was already telling you about. I know you didn't want to do that. So this one here has the air knife that you loved, the turning fork that you loved, the petite carver that you loved, the chef that you loved. It is missing the trimmer, all right? You have the spatula instead, which is pretty freaking awesome. Comes with 5 table knives or without. By the way, if you got this, you could do the trimmer as a free item or the scissors. This one here has the air knife that you like, the trimmer that you like, the petite carver, and the spatula, but it is missing the turning fork and the chef. So I'm not sure that's best unless you can do without one of those. You could do a chef for free with the +4 or the scissors, all right? This one here has the paring, the air, the petite carver, and the chef. So it has all your stuff except the turning fork. So you could definitely do a turning fork for free and even a peeler, you know, or the scissors with this. This one here has the paring knife, the trimmer, and the chef that you liked, but it is missing the petite carver. It has a larger one for the turkeys, and it is missing the turning fork. So again, I'm not sure if that's best. This one has the paring, the trimmer, the petite carver, the turning fork that you liked, and the bread. And you could do the chef for free with that, or the scissors. And then this is our gourmet set. I don't think that's really what you want. So out of all these sets here, which one of these do you think would work best? This one?
Yeah.
And would you want to do like the scissors for free, or would you want to do the trimmer?
The trimmer.
The trimmer for free? Okay, awesome. So this set, so let me pause real quick. As I show the sets, and I know this is review for some of you guys from my advanced training, but as I show the sets, what am I doing? What'd you guys just see me do as I showed all the sets? Huh? I'm pointing out what they like. I'm not going, this set has this set has that. All right, so it's not boring them. I'm keeping them engaged, going, hey, Miss Jones, this has the one you like. Oh, it doesn't have this. So does it, just for the customer, does it feel like I'm trying to sell them something that they don't need? No, I'm helping them find which set is best for them, and it's a really comfortable process. So this is something my manager taught me 14 years ago, and it was so helpful. So step 3, hey, what's your favorite set? Write down the pieces, all right? And then step 4, all right, show starters, pointing out what they liked and offer missing free. I've had people ask me, how do you know what you can get for free? Any homemaker piece can replace the scissors. Cool? Any homemaker can replace the scissors. They're comparable in point value. All right. So any tool here that can replace the scissors, just so you guys know. All right. So I say scissors or the chef, or you know, like so you can always replace that with the scissors. So if they're missing 2 things, though, you guys saw me say, I don't know, this one's missing 2. I don't know if that's best for you or not. You know. So I'm very real with them. I'm not like trying to push something. You're just like, hey, let's see if one of these works. So it's really comfortable, and you keep their ears open because, again, we're looking to find these guys and find the best deal versus me just being like, oh, this has this, and this is this. And they're just like, they totally tune out. All right. So step 1, close on family sets. They don't want it. Step 2, show the galley. I'm the homemaker. Hey, there's one right under this, Miss Jones. 1 Best Buy certificates from Consumer Digest. Dr. Phil gave it to everyone in his audience. And it's a really nice set. It has all your prep pieces. You're missing the master carving set. You're missing the butcher. You're missing a couple table knives. But you do have your preparation tools. And it's a few less knives for a lot less money. This is our most purchased set outside of the family sets. All right. So you show the prices. Hey, is that something you feel you could squeeze into the budget? All right. And so they're seeing this on a piece of paper. and make it very clear like that. All right, very
You
organized.
put it at the $37 a week because that's what we're comfortable.
Yeah, and they're like, what do I spend? Like they spend that on bull crap, and I know that. All right, and even me, we were poor as hell. And we spent a lot of stupid money. Like we'd go into Walmart to buy something, and Dad would grab this or that, like little things along the way, and it was like $5, $7, $8 every time. That adds up, So anyway, if it's not, they can't do anything right now. I'm just like, hey, it doesn't sound like that's something you're totally comfortable with. Or hey, it doesn't sound like that would work best for you right now. Did you like Cutco? Is it something that you want? Hey, is it cool with you if I show you some smaller sets? We've got some really nice sets, whether for an hour later that, are like $80, $100 to start your collection. And when you're ready, you can upgrade later. And so again, we're talking about $800, and now I'm saying $80, $100. Doesn't that sound like a lot better for them? That's what the deposit is in the smaller. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, let me just show you those real quick. All right.
Like with like the $37, one time whenever I was selling to my aunt, like I knew that my uncle like drank whiskey, and I was like, hey, can you give up a bottle of whiskey for a week to buy this set?
Yeah, I had. By the way, I sold the stars like that. The lady, Idania, her and I are talking. Her husband Jose is like, and they were very low income. By the way, I was in a duplex in the worst side of town, and he's there like smoking cigarettes inside out. It was so disgusting. And he's just like. He's like, pero no somos ricos, que ni. And he's like, we're not rich, we can't do this. And I was just like, and he just like, I think he smoked at least 3 cigarettes while I was there. And then I looked at him, and I knew them well. And I was like, Jose, I go, seriously? How much do you spend on cigarettes a week? And Idania goes, yeah, and she goes, he probably spends $40 a week on cigarettes. And he's like, probably more. I was like, all right, well then quit smoking for, a couple months. Let your wife get the knives. She's like, or I start smoking. And she goes, I want the knives. She goes, you want food? I want the knives. So if you want food, I want the knives. And I was like, yes. And they bought a galley. That's what they bought on paper. But the fact is they spent that. He spent that every week on freaking cigarettes. Okay. So anyway, do that. Hey, can I show you that? Step 3. Before I show the sets, hey, Miss Smith, if we were going to make, hey, Miss Barbara, if we were going to make your perfect set, what are the ones that you liked? Okay, great. Let me show you the pre-made ones real quick to see if there's something you like. If not, we'll customize there. Now they're attentive, all right? Because if not, you guys are like, but I showed them the starters. They didn't want it. Well, the thing is, if they weren't totally engaged, guess what? When you're going down the starters, you sound like, I don't know if you guys know Charlie Brown back in the day, or like the teacher, want, 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 want. And they don't hear anything until you go, so then we have pieces, and they're like, they open their ears again because that's what they wanted. All right. So I just want to keep them engaged the whole time. This is going to help in your drop down process. All right. So we show them that. Hey, is there anything there that would work? She said the essentials. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, then Miss Barbara, that would come out. Did you want with table knives or without? With. Okay, cool. So with, it's $682. The deposit would come out to $150 is what it would be. So basically, you're looking at like 37. It's about the same thing as over here. All right. So this here with and this is with the 5 table knives. So it's $39 a week, or whatever is what that comes out to. So you're showing them here, the breakdown again, it's $18 each. If they did the basic, like, oh no, well maybe the basic, I'm like, hey, the basic is $507. Your deposit would come out to $112. So basically you'd be putting aside about $28 a week. So it'd be like $14 each. Cool. And if you did that, you could do that, the trimmer that you wanted as a free item. All right. And that's that. And if not, then we go to customizing pieces. All right. Now, most people, and I'm telling you guys, you go through this process, you're going to sell a starter set the majority of the time. All right. Majority of your customers. You will still have some. They're like, no, I just want to get pieces. All right. And I remember, and I've had this happen multiple times. Are you guys good here? Can I erase this?
Yeah.
My chicken scratch. All right. Maybe I'll take a picture, even though probably no one will ever understand what the heck this says. We'll take a picture. All right. So so that's dropping down. You want to take your time dropping down. You want to drop down slow. But I've definitely gotten to pieces. So I remember one of my customers, they actually were the Smiths, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they had ankles already, and she was very sad. I'm like, my knives are fine. I have my ankles, whatever. She really did love Cutco though. She was using it. She's like, wow, this is really great stuff. I said, hey, Miss Smith, if you, we went down the process. Like, no, I just don't need a set. Like when I was like, hey, is it cool if I show you the starters? So she's like, I just really don't need a set. So she didn't like want to see it. She's like, no, I just want to get like what's one knife that can do everything? And I wanted to like punch her face and be like, did you not listen to the last like 30, 45 minutes that I've been in your house, you know? But she's like, what's like one knife that can do everything? And I looked at her and I literally was just like, I don't know. And she looked at me kind of like, aren't you supposed to know? And I'm like, there's no like that. There's no knife that does everything. I'm like, it's like, give me one golf club and let's go play the whole game. Like, yeah, I'll do that. Like if I'm like doing putt-putt, but like someone who plays golf, like there's chippers, there's putters, there's drivers, there's different tools for different jobs. It depends on what you're doing, right? I'm like, so to a non-golfer, you could say that, but to anyone who hears you, like, are you kidding me? You're gonna go out on the whole course and you're like, I got my club, let's go. All right. Like, yeah, club is to hit the ball, like knife is to cut the food, but there's different tools for different jobs. I go, if I had to narrow it down to like the bare bone basics, you need something to slice with, you need something to chop with. You know, and that's up to you. You still don't have anything for the air. You still don't have, you know, like I like the sandwich maker. I use a turning fork from the stove, you know, whatever. You can use your fingers. You can use another fork. But like bare bones, you need a chopper. You need a slicer would be the first ones. I was like, but then you do want a heavy duty. Don't hit hard stuff with the chef. It's not made for that. You know, don't. And she's like, okay, well, what is that? And I said, well, you could do a petite carver or the trimmer. You know, and I showed her those two. I'm like, that's, you know, it's a good meat knife, veggie knife, like every day, depending what size you want. I'd say one of those two. And then with the chef, I would recommend the French chef. I go, but you know, you could do the vegetable knife and so she goes, okay, let's do the chef and the petite carver. I go, okay, cool. So it didn't have a price list. I mean, so I said, all right, Miss Jill. And so I wrote Miss Smith's order down. So I was like, chef and petite carver. All right. Because I remember it was like 200 something bucks. What is this?
130.
And this?
Cool.
So when they, you know, add, you know, the tax to it or whatever, it'll be a little bit more, right? So I just tell them like, hey, this, you can just leave it there, it doesn't matter. But I'm like, this, you know, plus tax, or you can add the tax. But I'm like, hey, Miss Smith, this is for the two pieces. These are the prices. This is what it would come out to. She's like, okay, you know. And I said, hey. I said, can I show you guys how you can get some free stuff? So this is dropping back up, cool? So so here's the process, all right? So you drop down all the way, all right? And someone's like, they just get to pieces, all right? So you write down, so this is like all the way down. So if someone's like, no, or I just want pieces, and you get to pieces, you write down the pieces and the prices, all right? And what the total would be. So I'm gonna jot that down. All right, and basically this is gonna end up being around 250, 248 or so with the 8.25. So this is what they're gonna pay for the two. So I write them down. I say, hey, can I show you how you can get free stuff? Or you could also say, hey, can I show you how you can get a better value? Either one of those. You got to feel out your customer and know what's going to ring better in their ear. Cool? But I'm just like, huh?
Is that assuming she said yes? Or to the 250?
Yeah, well, I mean, she was just like, I want this. Like, I'm like, hey, here's the prices. So this is if someone's definitely getting. They're like, yeah, I want that. She was like, yeah, okay. So I said, hey, here are the two. It's going to be about 250. And then she's like, okay. And I said, well, hey, can I show you how you can get some free stuff? Or hey, can I show you how you can get a better value? So this is only when they've said, yeah, I want to get that. All right. If they're on the fence, then you're not going to upsell, because if they're on the fence and you upsell, what happens? You lose a sale. All right. So this is once you find what they want. Like, yeah, I want that. And if they just want pieces. So like I said, most of the time you're going to end up selling the starter set if you do it properly. But you will have some customers who are like, no, I just want to get pieces. So if that's their comfort zone and they're like, yeah, I just want to buy these couple things, you jot them down and you get the price. And then you say, hey, Mr. Jones, can I show you can get a better value? Or hey, can I show you can get some free stuff? What do you think they're going to say? Like,
Yes.
no, I don't want a better value. All right. Every mom wants a better value. So I'm like, all right, cool. Never call it a set. This goes to psychology, because we showed them the sets and they didn't want a set, right? So I always call it a package or a bundle. We do this for you guys on the phone. Hey, there's a package. Hey, there's a bundle that has da 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 da. All right. There's psychology behind that because the customer's open to that because they haven't heard those words yet. All right. So they're still open-minded. So I'm like, hey, by the way, Miss Smith, there's a package that actually has, and I knew her husband loved the scissors, like was obsessed with them. Because I even asked him, like, you don't want those scissors? He's like, yes. She's like, no. I was like, all right. But he loved the scissors, and he was like playing with the spatula like crazy. Like he absolutely loved the spatula. He's like, I make bagels all the time. So I said, hey, there's a package that actually has that chef knife that you liked. It has a petit carver that you know, like it has those two that you wanted. It has a spatula, Mr. Smith, that you loved. It has a turning fork that you can use with this as an everyday carving set. It has a paring knife. It comes with a block. It comes with a cutting board. Comes with the scissors and a peeler. Cool. And Mr. Smith, this right here, this package is over a $750 value. And it comes out to $507. All right. And the deposit, if you wanted to try it out, is only $112. Cool. Which you can try it, for 3 weeks, see how you like it, return it, you get 100% of your money back, or just call and pay the whole thing off. But hey, I just wanted to show you this because you're basically paying half the price for the two pieces. And this right here, you get those two and the spatula and the fork and the paring and the block and the cutting board and the scissors and the peeler. So you're just getting a lot more for your money. So do you guys like that better, or you want to just do the pieces? And the husband's like, wait, what does it come with? And I was like, and I put everything out. I was like, you have a block, you have the cutting board, you have the scissors, you have the peeler, you have this here. And he looks at his wife and she's like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's do that. What did I sell?
It's
a basic essentials with free scissors and a free peeler. All right. So that's what I sold, just so you know. And that happened all the time with customers. Kitchen Classics. I've seen a couple of people post about Kitchen Classic. I've never sold a Kitchen Classics before. By the way, I've had a gazillion customers want a Kitchen Classic. It's a really nice little set. You've got an air knife, you've got a trimmer, small utility, and you've got a chopper. It's a great set. You want to know what I always sell? I always sell this package with that. I honestly don't think I've ever sold the Kitchen Classic, even though I've had so many people pick it out. I was like, hey, Miss Jones. So they're like, yeah, I want to get this set. And I'm like, all right, cool. So you're getting the chef, you're getting the paring, and you're getting the trimmer, all right? And they're like, all right. So how much is the Kitchen Classics? Huh? So this is going to come out to whatever, $280 something plus, all right? So there's a package, and you have the chef, and you have the paring knife, Miss Jones, and you have the trimmer. This comes out to like over $300, isn't it?
No, it's
Okay. So paring, trimmer, has a big carver, has a spatula. All right, you have a cutting board, tray, sharpener, and you can pick $125 to $150 in free stuff. All right, and that set there, the all knife, is over, let me see here, this right here. This is what we do this for you guys. It's over $760 value for this package, and you actually get this for $479. All right, and the deposit for this would come out to $106. You're like, I just wanted to show you this because you're paying over half the price, or almost the same here. For $200 more, you're getting a big carver, spatula, cutting board, tray, sharpener, and whatever free stuff that you want. Do you like that better, or you want to just go with the gift set? And they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. All right, and that's usually what I sold. I had a lady who was buying just a chef knife, and I was like, Miss Jones, you're going to end up spending $150, which is cool. Hey, can I show you how you can get some free stuff, or can I show you can get a better value? And I showed her this. I said, you're paying about a third of the price here. I said, and instead you're getting not just the chef, you're getting paring and a trimmer and a big carver and a spatula and a cutting board and a tray and a sharpener and $150 of whatever you want for free. He goes, so you just get a lot more for your money. Do you want that better, or you want to just go with a piece? She was just like, oh, yeah, let's do that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, you want to just do the deposit? And she's like, yeah, and did that. All right. So most, I'd probably say for myself, my personal sets, I learned to upsell at least 90% of my piece orders into sets, probably a little bit higher than 90%. When I've closed them on sales for other people, from coaching people and talking to them on the phone, I probably upsold 80, 85%. It really depends on how you guys explain it. Mary Lou always does package deals and upsells. But those of you who do the best job, you close those. And those who don't, you're like, oh, well, you got to be excited. Like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll let them know. And it's always like, hey, just so you know, there's a package that has this and this and this and this and this, and show them everything. Hey, do you like that better? You want to just go with pieces. So it's a very we just want to make sure they know their best options. And when they see it on paper, they're like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, let's do that. That happened to Olivia's customer. One of my guys was like, my customer just wants petite carver. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, hey, one or two other pieces do they possibly like if they hooked with you? Well, that's all they want. I'm like, all right, cool. If it was free, well, they don't want anything. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me talk to your customer. And I got on the phone with the customer and I'm like, oh, how'd you enjoy the presentation? She's like, oh, it's great. I'm like, have you seen Cutco before? No. We're talking. She's like, oh, I actually am a Wusthof owner. So Wusthof is a phenomenal brand. I said, but eventually you will replace them. I'm like, so now you'll start your Cutco collection. I go, by the way, what one or two other things do you possibly like? Because we have some cool little deals and packages that we can do. And she goes, oh my gosh, I really love that spatula. I really love those scissors. She's like, actually, I really liked a lot of things. And I started laughing. I go, well, hey, there's a package that actually has the chef, and it has the petite carver that you wanted, and it has a spatula that you liked, and it has the paring knife. And it also has a turning fork. And I had to write it down. Write this down. And I told the lady on the phone, and I said, it also comes with a block. I said, it also comes with a cutting board. And you can pick out $150 of free stuff. So you could actually do the scissors and even the peeler for free. And she goes, really? I said, yeah. And that's over a $750 value. It comes out to $5 whatever. I said, the deposit comes out to blank. I'm like, do you like that better? Or you want to just go with the one knife? And she goes, I go, your deposit's actually less than paying for the one knife. She's like, yeah, you're right. You know what, let's do that. I go, okay, perfect. I'm like, I'll have them write it up for you. I'm like, you're going to love your cocktail. I'm like, but look forward to hearing from you. She's like, yes, thank you so much. And I got back on the phone with him. I was like, I just sold you an essential set. Write it up. Give her free scissors and the peeler. And they're like, hung up. But just know that they're going to get whatever they're most comfortable with. All right. So again, dropping down, what do you do first? Step one, right? You close normal, right? You close on the sets. If they don't do one of the family sets, then what do you do?
Drop down to the
Galley, show it where?
on the homemaker.
On the homemaker page. Hey, Miss Jones, there's one right under here. Few less nice for a lot less money. Doesn't have this, doesn't have that. Best finds like Consumer's Digest. You can share with them Dr. Phil. You write it down. All right. Hey, is that something that would be more comfortable? Hey, is that something you could squeeze into the budget? Hey, does that work better? Hey, is that something you want? Whatever. Is that something you're more excited about? Just ask. And they're like, yeah, I like that. Let's do that. All right. I sold galleys all the time. All right. I made my living off galleys when I was new. Probably more because I was scared of the bigger sets. All right. Then if they're like, no, we don't, I don't want to do all that, or can I just, get some pieces or whatever? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, Miss Jones. Some people like to pick out the fair pieces and customize their own set. But we do have some pre-made sets for a way better deal. I'm like, just so I know, if you were going to make your perfect set, what are the ones that you like? We jot them down, right? We go, all right, cool. Hey, is it cool if I show you some of the pre-made ones? I'm like, they're discounted. You get free stuff. They have storage option. I'm like, if not, we'll customize this. They're like, all right, cool. And now you go through the starter sets. As you go through the starter sets, what are you doing? Do you just tell them what's in every starter set? You're pointing out the stuff that it has that they liked. You're offering whatever it was missing for free. Everyone good? All right. And then and you'll usually sell that. And if not, you go down to pieces, find their comfort zone. Your job is to find their comfort zone. Our job is to show them their best value. And you learn how to do that too. As you grow as a rep, you know that closing process is find the comfort zone, show the best value. Cool. That's how you close a sale. Find the customer's comfort zone, show them their best value. And the best value is usually obviously more than their comfort zone. But I want to know, what are they comfortable spending today? And then I want to show them where they get their most for their money. All right. So quick questions, because I ran over and we got to roll. Go ahead.
What are the sets, but just one knife? And then there's can I trade that one knife out?
And honestly, that knife is even free in the set because the sets are discounted. I would try it out with the rest of the set for the 3 weeks. If you really don't like it, you can return that one knife, and they'll actually refund you the full price of that knife, even though it was pretty much free in the set.
So they can't trade it out?
The sets are already pre-made, and they're discounted. So literally that one knife they don't want is free. So what I've done before, Johnson, is I've given them the one they want for free. And I said, hey, when that comes, I'll steal that from you. So I'll buy you this. So whatever, I'll give them the one, maybe they want a boning knife, and if it's where the petite carver is, I don't know, maybe they already have something else. And I'll say, hey, I'll come by and pick that up when he gets here. So I'll buy you the boning knife and then we can swap it. But in terms of the set, you don't want to tear up the sets. The sets are like, if you put them separate, it costs more. Look on Cutco.com, it shows you all the regular prices of it. So it's already discounted, they're getting that free.
So when you're dropping that up, that's after you've already showed them the starter sets, right?
Hmm?
So aren't you basically showing them again when you're writing down what the pieces like?
They don't know that. I'm showing them a package that we have.
Okay, like and then on the when you're writing out the order.
They weren't paying attention when you were going down if they just wanted pieces.
Okay. So
They're
yeah,
like,
you
okay,
advanced
okay.
already, all
Like
right,
if it's
what do
not
you
something
want?
they wanted in their head, if they wanted pieces, are they really super engaged when you're showing them sets?
No.
No, they're just waiting for you to get to pieces. So when you get to
Usually fight-
pieces,
they usually
you
fight
write
with
down
it.
the stuff that they like, and then you're like, hey, by the way, can I show you how you can get a better deal? Or hey, can I show you how you can get some free stuff? There's a package, there's a set. There's a package that has these things here, and it has da 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 da. Do you like that better, or you want to go with free stuff? That's something that we can do for you, or you'll learn how to do yourself when you know what's in the sets. And there's a separate workshop that I run on that. Any other questions? Cool. So what was most helpful? What do you feel?